start the conversation. I'll tell you about the rest in the course of the show. But let's start from the Galamsey brouhaha with Professor Frimpong Boateng's report still making trends. But there's a picture I want to show you of the turbidity of River Pra. We compare it to last year, 2022. Credit to GTV for this picture. If that picture is ready, let's see it on the screen. So that is the current state of River Pra. The big bottle is the state now. Let's see the picture first. Yes. So the big bottle is the state now, and the smaller bottle is the state as in 2022. So what this picture is trying to tell us is that it is getting worse because the color of the water and the turbidity is even worsening by the minute. So 7 months ago comparison, one was like a mango juice, and now we have an ice kinky color. This is the water we might be taking as a nation. And this is how serious we should take this Galamsey matter and talk about it dispassionately and devoid of political sentiments, because it's got to do with national security. If you don't take care, we all die in this. Let me get to my gentleman. I don't want us to just stay on the report, but this is the situation. I wanted to paint a clearer picture of how serious we should be taking this Galamsey, menace. People who want to blame the government for just being rhetorical with its fight in this cause. Are you seeing any commitment from the government after the president said he was putting his presidency on the line, the highest office of the land? Let's talk about this. Safanyine, let me start with you. This is the picture of the situation, and how seriously should we take this, and do you see any commitment really from the presidency?
Well, thank you for the question. I won't want to look at it from the presidency point of view at all. We have to mount a national crusade against Galamsey. We started, and we saw success. I saw river bodies beginning to become clear. I saw it. We saw the benefits and the successes we were making. Then we ourselves, as Ghanaians, some people began to take political advantage. Go and campaign and tell the people that you see what these people are doing to you, we will do different. People felt that, after all, what I'm doing, I'm only doing it here. I'm not polluting anywhere else. It's just here we are doing it, just in our own locality or in this particular area. Forgetting that what you're doing is affecting generations down the line. We must have a national crusade. I must commend GTV for what they do every morning by showing the water. It should be a national crusade by all the media houses. You have the Independent Broadcasting Corporation. Start your own crusade, irrespective of which government is in power. You have the independent broadcasters. Start your crusade.
There was a coalition of media against
Galamsey. Yes, what happened? They were compromised along. You see, the pressures and things. If it is collective, it's like the fight itself. Some traditional leaders actually took the lead, fought against it. They had success in their areas. Then they find their people migrating to other areas and partaking in it. And then the problems coming to them. Then next time the traditional leader begins to see that he doesn't have, it's like he's losing the fight. It should be a national crusade. National. Where even when anybody picks a spade to go and do Galamsey, he himself, his conscience should hit him. But they feel justified. Because they keep hearing that, some big man here or some big man there is involved. They keep hearing these things. So at the end of the day, they feel that they are making some ends meet. If you ask me personally, I cannot fathom how when you take so much mud and you are mixing in all this tepid water, you are able to pick out granules, grains of gold. How are you able to see that? How much chemical do you have to apply to see that? How much more of the gold is being wasted? We must come to an. If we do this campaign well enough, it will get to a point where we'll ask ourselves, as a nation, that is it worth going after that gold that we're not getting any benefit from? Or are we better off saving the environment for our posterity? We will come to that question. Because there's no wisdom in trying to do this activity, and we are killing the water bodies. Do we appreciate what it means to kill the water bodies? Do we appreciate? We must have a crusader to hammer this thing on a daily and constant basis. You pick up a newspaper and it should be the first thing you see. You switch on the television set and it's the first thing you see. Several years ago, for the first time in the history of Ghana, the water level of the Akosombo Dam was dropping dangerously. It actually went below the minimum operating level for which the dam was designed. In those days, we didn't have so many newspapers. The Daily Graphic had a small column on the front showing the reading of the water level on the day before. So when by today's graphic, you see yesterday's reading. It was the first thing every Ghanaian looked at. Because we couldn't imagine what would happen to this country if the water at Akosombo went too low and electricity could not be generated. The whole country would be in darkness. We couldn't imagine. Then became the desperate effort to begin to diversify our energy sources. Because we knew that if anything happened to Akosombo Dam, as a country, we are finished. So it is that type of campaign that we should do. It made everybody conscious in those days when we were watching everybody was now conserving light. Yes, you are paying the bills. It is your own house. But because of your fear, and you know that the amount of electricity we are using influences the rate at which the water dam level drops, everybody made it a conscious effort to try and reduce their electricity consumption. That is the kind of moral fight that we have to engage in. Massive. You don't have to wait for the president or wait for the government or wait for any party. As a people, we should begin to do this. Because it is a matter of survival. Côte d'Ivoire last year issued a friendly, if I should put it that way, warning to Ghana that our Galamsey activities was beginning to affect their water bodies. Egypt and Sudan. Today we are having problems in Sudan because two generals have their own personal disagreement and the whole country is suffering because they have access to weapons. They control men with arms. But Egypt and Sudan are having serious problems because of the use of the Niger, the Niger River, the Nile River. You see, so water has become so essential. So, look, some of us, we travel around. We travel around the country and you see these things firsthand. My brother, it is not a joke. And if we don't bring that realization deep to the doorstep of people, there are people doing it. They think that, they are just doing something and, no. They are doing it against all of us. And we should not tolerate it. Somebody comes and sits on television and boasts that he's a Galamsey. What?
But
and
will it just be enough for a campaign, or there should be action back in the campaign, and that action should be driven by someone in authority? You
see, we've got to a point where, look, this country, we don't sit down and wait for anything. The president is doing his bit. There's civil society. There's the schools. People go to other parts of the world, the environment, Mexico, Brazil, and those. The fight on the environment was not from the government. It started from indigenous groups, traditional authorities. People started a local fight. You see, and that is what we should begin to do. Otherwise, everybody says, would you blame the president? Is the president? No. That is not the issue.
Okay. I will let us talk about the report, but that will be on the second part. But let me take Openyi's thoughts on the situation. Openyi, so this is the situation of Galamsey, and how much of, destruction it is causing to our land and even the waters the water we use. First of all, how do you read all of this?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to our viewers, Philip. Good morning to you. You know, it's a cocktail of so many issues. It's a cocktail of the fact that we've lost our morality. It's a cocktail of the fact that we have become selfish and greedy. It's a cocktail of the fact that we don't seem to love our country the way we should. We're not patriotic citizens anymore. But it culminates in leadership. When you've lost your way, you need a leader to come straighten you. Typical example is Rwanda, what they went through. They now got a leader in Paul Kagame who has tried his best to straighten the country, and he seems to be succeeding. You see, we have taken the essence of the country out and replaced it with the politics that we feel would allow us to win elections. Insofar as we're concerned, political parties feel that's the most important thing. So even when you try to speak the truth, you're condemned. Even when you bring evidence to show that things are not going the way it's supposed to go, you're chastised and victimized because of selfishness. And the fact that people seem, and leaders seem, to be hypocritical in dealing with some of the issues in this country. The NDC were in power. Let's look at what did they do to stem Galamsey. The MPP have come to power. Quite a lot of resources have gone into trying to stem Galamsey, but the hypocritical bit is that it turns out that not much has been done. Because if you look at those 2 bottles of water, let me say something. I tend to go on GTV sometimes on Thursday, and I went to GTV once and I saw the first bottle there. I went a second time, third time, that bottle was still there. So you know what? I said to myself, what is the host having this bottle of orange juice on his table like that all the time?
You even thought it was orange juice.
I thought it was orange juice. I thought it was orange juice. So I asked him. I asked Day, why do you always have this orange juice on your table? He said, orange juice. This is not orange juice. This is the color of the River Pra. Galamsey. And it shocked me when I saw it. And now we are seeing a second bottle. You called it kinky.
Ice kinky. Yeah.
No, it's not ice kinky. This is a bunabunu soup.
It's getting there.
It's a bunabunu soup.
Without any heat,
And
we are
then
preparing
you
soup in the
ask
water.
the question, how come we cannot change the mindset of our people to show that what we're doing is destroying our water bodies? Apart from destroying our water bodies, water is life. It's also destroying our land, cocoa, our commercial timber, our areas for mining other products. Everything seems to be being destroyed by Galamsey. And you ask yourself, what are the people thinking? And how much money are they making? Those who are involved in it. They are not making the money. There are some people behind who are making the money. And we don't have effective leadership to
There's
be
this
able...
guy who was caught in a CNN documentary, Alestas Matthias, who claims that about $40 million every month of of gold is smuggled out of the country. So that's how much some of them are making off the back of the people suffering.
$40 million?
$40 million.
Let me tell you something. In 2018, I think it was a press, one of these press involvements government have with the media in Flagstaff House. And one of the media people asked about Galamsey. So the president called the vice president to talk about it. When the vice president was giving his response, he said he'd been to the Emirates and they had told him that officially they had imported $8 billion worth of gold from Ghana.
8 billion.
8 billion.
Over what period?
This was 2018.
So
8
just for
billion,
that year.
yes. 8 billion dollars worth of cocoa. That particular year, what was recorded as Ghana's exports of gold was $2 billion. There's a balance of 6 billion. So the question is, if our official figure was 2 billion, that 6 billion, how did it get into the system for it to be official for another country to record it? How did it get in there? It goes to show that within that value chain, there are quite a lot of people and agencies that are complicit to Galamsey. So it's not only those who are mining and spoiling the environment, but it's those who also aid those big boys and big girls in Galamsey. So, customs, immigration, the police, the forestry department, the mining establishment who give licenses, politicians, and the people. And we have no leadership. And remember, the president directed that there should be marshals guarding the water bodies.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
That's what Prof is reporting.
And
frustrations
so you said we should look at the generality
Yes.
of what is happening. And we'll dovetail into
Prof's
now.
report.
If you say, and if we can dovetail into it, if you say, and President Kufuor, when Prof mentioned the fact that there were people within government and the MPP who were involved in Galamsey, what did the president say? The president gave the police hierarchy the authority to investigate, didn't he? Let me tell you the hypocritical stance of the president where this is concerned. Frimpong Martin made this statement, a few weeks ago. The president, at the time he was saying that the police should investigate, had Frimpong Martin's report on his table.
2021.
2021. The people who Frimpong Martin was referring to was in that report. So he knew what was in the report. Why did he now come out to say that the police should investigate when he knew? Is that not hypocritical? Why did he not say, yes, I've had a report from Professor Frimpong Martin since 2021. We are handling it. We are looking at it. We are seeing how best we can, sort the content of his report out. But he said the police should investigate when he knew what was in the report. So it becomes very difficult when you want to try and defend the president. When he does these double standard things, that makes him complicit where Galamsey is concerned. He knows
For
There
him
are-
to have described this report as a hearsay and a catalogue of grievances, personal grievances from someone, and so it raises questions. Some have even asked that even if it was a whistleblower,